What's going on, guys? Aaron223 finally coming back to you with another video. I know it's been a long time since I did one, but I figured I'd get back into it with the September ban list. So here we got a Fire Fist deck. So we'll start with the monsters. We got 3 Fire Fist Bear. It's the centerpiece of the deck. Send a fire formation, blow up a monster. When it does battle damage, you can set a fire formation spell from your deck. It's really good to get through the Tenkies when you need them, or Tensu if you want to go off into a big play main phase 2. Next we got 3 Dragon. Dragon lets you send 2 fire formations that you control to the graveyard and special summon any Fire Fist from your graveyard. That's a really good effect because it allows you to basically do a 1 card exceed. Its other effect is also really good. If you activate a Fire Formation spell trap while it's face up on the field, you can set a Fire Formation trap directly from your deck. We'll get into that a little later. And the last Fire Fist that I'm running, I got 1 Gorilla and 2 Boar. Gorilla lets me blow up spells and traps, and then if it kills a monster, I can set a Fire Formation spell trap. So it's really good to have that 1-of just in case you need to get rid of like a pesky Royal Decree or something. And then the Boar is the tuner of the deck. When it's destroyed by battle, you can special summon any Fire Fist from your deck except for Boar. And since it's a 4-star tuner, you can go into the Synchro, which is really important. And the other monsters we got 2 Wolfbark. I don't have 3 because they're $75 now, but I really feel like 2 might be the optimal number because it's really not good to draw Wolfbark in your opening hand because there's not a lot of things you can do with it first turn. And the last one is 2 Effect Veiler, just because with this new format and the lack of OTKs, people are going to be playing a lot more control-based decks. And what I got to do with Effect Veiler is you just got to play them. Like this card, you have to play every deck next format. So that's it for that. We'll go on to the spells. You got 2 Tenki, because you can only run 2. It's pretty self-explanatory. 2 Tensu, lets you double summon. You got 2 Goyoku. I'm not running MST in the main deck. I'm opting for these because these are fire formations, which will help me a lot. And then a Yoko, just to get rid of any big monster threat that might be in the way. In addition, we got 3 dualities, because I can't run 3 Tenki anymore, so I got to run something to help me get my consistent plays off. So this card is just really good. I'm glad they put it back at 3. We got 3 Forbidden Lance, just to protect my monsters. Get over there is really good with a bear or a gorilla. On the last 2 spells, I got a Book of Moon and a Dark Hole. I wasn't running Dark Hole a lot last format because Dragons and Prophecy, it doesn't do very much to them. But now with those 2 decks hit a lot, it's going to be seeing a lot more play. And then we'll move on to the traps. First trap, Fire Formation Tensen. This is what I was talking about with the Dragon. At any time, if I have a dragon and I activate any Fire Formation spell trap, I can set this directly from my deck. And what it does is it gives any Beast Warrior 700 attack, and then it gives all Beast Warriors an additional 300. So the monster I use with this gets 1,000 attack for the turn, which can be pretty huge in a fight. More traps. We got 2 Deep Prison, because I can't run 3, which is, I don't know, it's kind of a silly rule, but I got to run it. 2 Fiendish Chains. With the lack of Heavy Storm, this card's going to see a lot more play. 2 Mirror Force. I lost a few traps that I was playing, like the ones following. Bottomless Torrential and Compulsory Evacuation Device. You have to run 1 of each of these if you're running any deck that plays traps. They're just so good. So I have to run the Mirror Force because I have to make up for the lack of traps I now have. And the last trap, Solemn Warning. Self-explanatory. I'll move on to the extra deck really quick. Extra deck's pretty self-explanatory as well. We got 3 Tiger Kings. It's a really good. It just keeps the chain of reaction going with your Fire Fist. You keep searching, you keep adding cards to your hand, just keep the pluses going all the time. 2 Cardinals. Now Cardinal is probably my favorite card in the whole extra deck. What it does is when you make it, you can detach both extra 2 materials and target 2 Fire Formations and or Fire Fist monsters on the field or in your graveyard, and shuffle them into the deck, and then target 2 cards your opponent controls or is in their graveyard and return them to their deck. And what you can do is you can just keep looping it by sending the first Cardinal back with the second one. So if you can keep making them, you just keep going off. And I have Cowboy and Abyss Dweller. These are kind of generic things you just should have in your extra decks at this point. I would have a Shockmaster in here, but obviously that got banned. But these cards are both really helpful. And then Maystroke, Daigusto, Emerald. Since we don't have Pot of Avarice, this card needs to be played now, just to recycle your monsters when you need it. And then the last 2 XYZ monsters, I got a Photon Papilloroperative and a Diamond Direwolf. This card is really good in this deck, just because everything can be used, every monster except for Effect Failure can be used with its effect. And this card is just really good, because you're going to see a lot of decks playing a lot of set and defense monsters from now on. And then for synchros, because I run tuners, I have 2 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Kirin. If you don't know what this does, when it's summoned, you can set a fire formation spell or trap directly from your deck, and then all your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack for each face-up spell or trap they control. Note that that isn't restricted to just fire formation. So if I have Fiendish Chains on the field, it'll also give them the 100 attack decrease. And then the other 2 synchros I play are Cataster, because I can make it with Effect Veiler, and Crimson Blader, because it's the only other fire synchro that I run that I can make with the Fire Fist Boar. So that's my deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Aaron number 223. Peace out.